Zach, Washington, D.C., the great WMAL. I'm guessing, Zach, you're listening to 105.9 FM, correct?
Yeah. I was a little surprised today when I turned it on and it wasn't blasting Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix. So,
well, my friend, my melodious voice is the next best thing.
No problem. I bet you're right. My question was, like I said, I just tuned into your station today coming home from school, and, I hear people say left and right, and I've heard that all my life. You say leftists and all that's been Democrats and all that stuff, and you say, the right side and the Republicans. And
all right, how may I help you? What do you want me to clarify for you?
I wanted to clarify, what's your definition when you say those words? When you say leftist, is it...
Well, let me help you out. Right? Let me help you out. Do you believe in individual liberty as a major priority?
I believe the whole definition of the word liberty is individualism, so that would be...
Okay, so you do. So the answer to my question is then yes. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have you ever read the Constitution?
No, I'm 19 years old. I haven't
okay, well, I read it when I was 13, and my kids read it when they were 16. But that said, it's very important to read the Constitution. You know why? Because that goes to the heart of right versus left. In other words, the Constitution lays out the standards for the government, what it can and cannot do. And when the government does all these things that the Constitution doesn't permit, the government's acting outside the constitutional framework. And when the government's acting outside the constitutional framework, what are the limits on it? Do you know?
And that's against the law.
Okay, we're losing you, unfortunately. Well, the limits are whatever the politicians say the limits are. And so I don't believe that kind of power and authority should be in the hands of a few temporary politicians. Do you?
No.
Oh, darn it. All right, Zach, call again when we have a better connection. I'm sorry. But let me continue this so he can listen on the radio and hear. Folks, if I have to do a thumbnail sketch for somebody that's never read the Constitution or really thought about this stuff, this is how I would do it. Do you believe in individual liberty? I don't mean anarchy. Do you believe in individual liberty? Yes. Do you believe in an ordered society with a stable law that everybody has to comply with? Yes. Do you believe in a law that especially the politicians and the bureaucrats have to comply with? Absolutely. Well, then why would you argue that the Constitution is living and breathing and empower politicians, a handful of citizens, whose motivations are quite different than yours, and their army of bureaucrats to torment you? Because if you believe in that, then you don't believe in anything particularly unique about our country. You don't believe in the Constitution. You believe in something else. And you were prepared to enslave yourself and your family to the whims and the political interests of a handful of temporary politicians. Why would you do that? You assume they're going to behave rationally, nobly, properly, but you assume wrong. There's much more to this, but if I have to give a 19-year-old kid who hasn't really studied this and isn't sure what all this means a thumbnail sketch, that's the thumbnail sketch. You know, when you're young, you challenge authority, don't you? Challenge your parents, your grandparents. You don't like this rule or that rule? Well, then why would you turn over so much power to a central federal government, to strangers, and they are strange, who run for office, many of whom have views that are utterly different than those of your own views? But whether they are or not, why would you hand over that kind of authority to a handful of people who run for office and manage to get elected? And who seek to make permanent changes to your situation. Permanent changes to the order of things. That's not compassionate. That's not progressive even. That's stupid.